Hello my friends, welcome to my recent video, and today we are going to be discussing why two lions fighting to the death is actually a more adverse fight than if he were to be fighting a grizzly bear in the wild. And I'm going to explain to you how that differs. Now, lions fight to the death for territory. Now, this can apply to African lion. This would have applied to Barbary lion. This would have applied to probably many other different types of lions in Africa. Now, they have a very strong procreative drive to mate, lions. Even in African lions, we see very high testosterone. We see fights to the death between them. We see them kill one another. Lions have a very strong procreative drive to mate, and because they are fighting against the same species, there is just more incentive for brutality. Because it's about the females, and it's about gaining ownership of the females, and it's about your right to mate and your DNA, prolonging your DNA. And it is through genetic superiority that lions compete with each other and propagate their species by killing if necessary. And a lion interprets a bear very differently than he would interpret another male lion because it's not the same species. So he doesn't interpret a bear as competitive. And for that reason, he would not display the same level of territorial aggression against the grizzly than he would if he were fighting against another male lion. So it is a different scenario, and the lion has a different interpretation of that. But lion just interprets grizzly as a potential competitor for food, not as someone who he can compete with to gain ownership of females, because lions don't mate with female grizzlies. So they don't have more incentive to be as brutal as they would be if they were fighting another male lion, as they would be if they were fighting a bear. And that's just the reality of the situation. I just think that lions, they would not display the same level of territorial aggression because females are not involved, mating rights are not involved, and fights tend to be more brutal when that is a factor, or when they are fighting for that reason. Bears can resort to brutality in a similar way, except they won't fight to the death. Bears will fight, and some of their fights can be brutal and they can inflict injury upon each other, but they won't fight to the death. Bears, they will fight, and they will have some long endurance fight, but they will eventually disengage each other out of a solitary instinct to avoid injury. And the fact that Grizzly is a solitary predator, that's just what he does to prevent injury. He knows that if he gets into a fight for too long, that he's going to get injured. So he does disengage eventually. But if lions are fighting for mating rights, they will fight thoroughly to the death. And they will brutally kill each other. Because of the fact that lions have manes too, they can't kill each other through strangulation. They can disembowel one another, but it's very, very rare for them to do that. Like, usually they go for the spine when handicapping in coalitions. When they're handicapping a single male lion with a coalition of 3 or 4 males, they'll usually go for the spine. And rarely in a one-on-one fight when 2 male lions are fighting to the death, they will probably kill each other by brutally clawing each other to death in the face. But this video is to conclude why 2 male lions fighting in the wild when there's females involved is more adverse than him fighting a grizzly bear in the wild. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye for now. My point in this video is that regardless of who wins between lion and grizzly in the wild, it won't be a fight to the death between them, because there's no any females involved. There's no incentive to kill for females. There's no incentive to be more brutal and more ferocious, more territorially aggressive. In a territorial sense, there's just less incentive to be aggressive with these animals. So a lion just doesn't interpret a bear as competitive as another male lion, and it won't display the same territorial ferocity against a bear that it would if it were fighting another male lion. So in other words, the lion is not really going to give his all against a bear in a fight. And considering that bears are also anatomically designed to be more awkward for big cats when they fight them, because big cats, they do exchange from the hind legs, but they're not used to fighting animals that are much, much stronger than them. And a bear is a lot stronger, like especially a large bear. But lions, they're used to fighting each other at their own weight or around the same weight as each other, and they're very much capable of overwhelming one another. But a bear is designed to be more blobbery and have more fatty tissue, and they're designed to be more slippery, so the lion doesn't really have the ability to grip the bear. So a bear is anatomically designed to be very awkward in a fight for a lion. It's a very awkward fight for a lion to win, because the lion can easily incorporate strategic errors of exchanging with the bear from the hind legs in close proximity, and the bear will just grab him, overwhelm him, pin him down, and start biting and exploiting his vulnerability. So I'm not saying that it's impossible for lion to win this fight against grizzly in the wild, but, well, if it's a Barbary lion and it has extreme ferocity and it's on a full tank. So if they were fighting each other under circumstances of nourishment and they both rested, you know, if we had a 660 Barbary lion fighting a 770-pound grizzly bear, or we had a 660 Barbary lion fighting a 750-pound grizzly bear, there's not much of a difference in weight there, you know. And I think that definitely the lion could win, but I think him incorporating strategic errors, you know, by exchanging with the bear in close proximity from the hind legs, can definitely cause him to be psychologically crippled in the battle, and can even cause him to lose the fight. So I think it's definitely going to be a factor of strategic error, because Barbary lions have a pretty strong mentality to fight. So if it does back down to grizzly, it's going to take quite a bit for grizzly's going to have to dish out quite a lot of punishment to make a Barbary lion back down. So I'd say in a direct fight with a bear, a lion is in a bit of a disadvantageous circumstance based upon the fact that he may incorporate strategic errors and fight the bear's fight, which is on the hind legs. But if the bear is on his four legs, the lion is going to be able to do a lot of damage with his claws and bite the neck. So I definitely think lion could win this fight, but I would definitely think it would require him to be put into the wild with the right kind of anatomic preparation. Like, he would need to have the stamina to fight. He would need to be on a full tank. He would need to be well nourished. He would need to be at his prime age, and he would need to be healthy. Well, like I say, if he's put into the arena, like into the wild against grizzly, with the right kind of anatomic preparation, like he's his prime age, the lion, at the prime age of 7, he's on a full tank, he's well nourished, and he's healthy and durable 660 specimen, I definitely think that lion could definitely win this fight against the bear. Definitely. I am 100% certain that this is possible. Regardless of what any delusional bear fanatic says about lion losing this fight, it's not true. It's all bullshit. And one day I will completely debunk them for it when I get the opportunity to. We don't have the resources to prove it right now, but one day we will. I can't really explain that to you right now because you wouldn't believe me, but I will let you guys know when the time comes.